Or if you don't give me the information, I don't know how to deal with your situation. That's what it means, right? Yeah, so that's it. And also, you must note that every problem is not psychological in nature. This one is very, very clear, right? Something which is psychological is to do with your brain power, and also how you manage that. But some problems will be social in nature, and the majority are. Which problems are more prominent? Economic problems, social problems, or psychological problems? Dina, which one do you think is bigger? You get bigger problems? Economic problems?
No.
Huh?
Psychological.
Psychological?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. How about social? Don't you have more social problems than the psychological problems?
Some social problems and economic problems have been caused by the psychological problem.
What I wanted you to tell us is that these are interrelated because each one of these can trigger the other, right? Yes. Yeah. All right, so let me just add a few things when you're here. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that you can create a chain reaction, right? You can start with a pure social problem, right? And you can end up with a psychological problem. Seriously. Now, and so forth, you just become mentally confused and something like that. Seriously. Yes. That's why somebody, a social problem, right? It's well shelter. You can't sleep, you're thinking over it too much because you think your partner was invested on the end. You get so confused. In the morning, your brain can't function properly, you commit suicide. So you move on from social issue and it triggers something that leads to your mental derangement and eventually you find yourself committing suicide. So you can see, so you can get that type of reaction in that order. So, one of the issues is that when you look at these things, you may look at how you can help that individual, whatever it is, but there are several factors that you must look into, right? The environment, right? We talked about social, economic, whatever it is, but there's the issue of environment as well, right? So, this is how we should be looking at this. Okay, let's look at that. In Gateway, we use theory to inform practice. And this is where we believe that the solution to any social problem should come from the service user, right? So that the solution, whatever, whether psychological, socio-economic, environmental, whatever it is, the service user should be able, because we assume he knows the cause, right? But there's no capability or capacity to manage that situation. So therefore, we need to engage the service user to be able to give us that which would be helpful to him. So here, we need to encourage our service users to really understand their situation, right, or their problems. And in that, when you are dealing with a situation, you are trying to unpack the problem, right, into components, pieces that that individual tool may be able to really understand what the situation is about. And that's why we use all sorts of techniques that we learn, and hopefully we can apply them as we proceed to practice.
Can you shed more light on theory in fact?
Yes.
How it helps, or how the service user should very much involved in finding the solution to the problem.
What we are saying is that the individual most likely will know the cause of the problem, right? And that individual should be encouraged as much as possible to understand the nature of the problem and see how best he can deal with that problem, right? As a social worker, you are informed by your theory, right? The theory tells you how to understand the problem, how to analyze it, right? And what the solution is supposed to be. And that is just the theory which tells you. But in practice, you use the theory to help that to be, which is actual practice, right? You look at these things when you move into the next level. For example, the issue of somebody has not school fees and is going to create a chain reaction to everything. What do you do? What theory can you use? You shall look at all these things around, right? Yeah. So the theory just gives you the understanding of the situation. And the practice is actually how do you use that which was given to you in theory to come up with a practice to support that individual. I hope that's clear. Here, let's look at this. Okay. We're still looking at our fourth B. So if you look at this is pure casework, which we looked at last time, right? And we said we shall look at these ones individually, but usually this time I sometimes wait until you get into 30 when we look at the assessment, planning, and intervention. That's when we really look at these things in detail, right? But 30 is too far. No, that's the fine. Yeah. So let's look at your own know-how, right? I'm too fast?
Yes.
But I presented this one very, very clear. Can anybody follow it? You have put it? I put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. But in between, there are things that is important. The C, which is planning, right? But planning, I say, can occur at any one of these. Down here, solution, which is intervention, application, termination, there's no referral. But we know it still comes. It can occur at any one point. Right? Okay, so let's move on to you yourself. As a caseworker, you are a representative of your agency. You mentioned about public, private, whatever, and so forth and so forth, right? And therefore, your task is to support the service user who may require service through you, or through advocacy, or by immediate provision of information and solutions to their various problems. That's why we're just there. If it is counselor, we try to help that to be. And what counseling is will depend on how you understand it, right? Advocacy is another technique that we use, and also information sharing or giving, and also how you can come with a solution to the various problems that these individuals face. So this is how it will go. Also, your work includes outreach. In other words, in social work, we don't rely on what we call linear information gathering, right? Yes. We depend on mass information gathering processes, right? What we mean is, you cannot get information from somebody else come to complain to you as the complete and whole. No. You need to add that information with information from other sources. It could be members of the family, it could be chiefs, it could be whatever it is and so on. So that when you are coming to a point of making a decision, you are highly informed about the situation of that individual. In the right situation, you must be highly informed about the situation of that individual. Then it becomes easy for you to do that. So here, you must look at it. How can I get my information? It must be not linear and not linear. Okay. And also, you need to, as a caseworker, your role is basically to help individuals in their serious situations so that they're able to achieve their goal for a better life. That's it. So these are the components that we should look at. Just sit here, can't shake anything. Shake anything to support. If it goes off now, you'll be very happy to go out now, right? No. Any question, please, as we move on? Any question from anybody? Oh, yes, yourself. Madam, any question? Why? You? Can I give you my question?
Yeah.
You are ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We looked at the issue of the problem. When does the situation become a problem? No, wait. You asked for a question here. When does it become a problem? Breathe. When does the situation become a problem?
When the video is
Did you look at it here? It's right.
Maybe it is affecting the society or youth. Then this one will be broken, especially in terms of the broken.
Good. Something else. Just move on. Something else. We're going to now look at the nature and trends in the case. Nature and trends in case. Okay, let's now move on to look at this. No? Okay. Let's move on. What are we talking about? The nature of casework. Casework involves helping individuals with their problems in order to improve their social functions. That's what it is. Just be there to help an individual improve their social function. And this can only be achieved through a systematic approach, right? What do I mean by systematic approach? Systematic approach is that you must recognize and know the methods, right, in social work, and also how you are going to proceed. The approaches. What are approaches in social work? Theories. Are they theories? Rules. What are they?
Solutions. Procedures.
Okay. Approaches, techniques, procedures. All right. Let's accept those. So these are things that will give you the systematic way of addressing your issues, and you have the processes. Is anything wrong with me? Can anybody see something wrong? Can somebody see what is wrong in this statement here? Yes. Nothing wrong.
Procedures.
What's wrong with process?
You should be the approaches.
It's big.
You should be approaches.
Okay, so process should be in approaches.
Procedures and processes are the same.
Procedures and
Processes. They are the same.
okay.
Same meaning.
Procedures and processes are the same.
Yes, they have the same meaning.
Procedures and
Processes.
okay.
Procedures are stages. The processes are also stages. Before the material plan.
That's interesting. That is what I said is wrong. Right? No, that's not true. Right. So here, what I wanted you to tell me was that when you have a method, right, you move to a process. And you go to approaches, which are procedures or techniques. That's clear, right? It's in that order. So what I wanted you to tell me was that the other one was the foot. At the ends when supposed to be taken. You have a method, a process, and an approach. The three things. And your approach actually is a procedure that you follow, or the technique that you are going to use. This is how you can understand. It never makes sense. So here, this is what we're talking about. Number 3. Nature of social work requires you to understand the knowledge or apply the knowledge of human behavior, the situations in which that individual is, and also your skill in how people live, the human relationships. And you must understand that this is actually very key to your practice, because how an individual is affected, it will be about his behavior in social situations, right? That's all. And the environment in which it is. So how it deals with the people around him, that individual, may cause the problem. And therefore, that's why you need to understand that human behavior, social relationships, situations which that individual is, can also be key to you or for you to understand how you can help that particular individual. This becomes like a triangle issue that we have been always struggling. An individual, your environment, and all sorts of things.
So I wanted to understand
Yes.
methods, processes, and approaches.
Yes.
On methods of social work. So we have case work, group work, community, and the like.
Yes.
In the processes, it's where we have the thing like planning, coordination, and the like.
Yes.
How about the approaches?
Approaches. This is the how. This is the how. Do you do it? Some books they say approaches, some books they use procedures, some books they use techniques. And for your, if you want, I can remove your approaches, just use procedures. There's no problem.
I need the examples.
You want examples? Okay. The process is that ourselves, right? And a method is automation. What we must bear in mind is that all these methods that we have in social work, right, have different approaches and they use different techniques. The one we have put down here is specific for what? Specific for casework. So we get that? Specific for casework. The techniques in social group work may be different from what you do in casework. You understand that? Yes. And community and action, whatever it is, they'll be totally different. So I think what you can do for your benefit, but I assume that because we're talking about casework, you take this one as pure casework, right? Yes. I can put another slide here that is this systematic way is specific for casework. Seriously. Yeah. Because in group work you not use this. You just do group work as a method. But how do you do with the actual problem in the group? Am I being clear? Yeah. That's what you should understand. If you are going to do your research, for example, it will have only techniques and approaches. You understand that, right? Yes. So don't mix this. And I think that gives me now an idea that we just have to make it very, very clear. That makes you affirmative. But it was generally, we're talking about casework, because you're focusing on casework, right? You are going beyond casework to social administration, research, social action. Those things will do their own way, right? Yes. Okay. So, we talked about how you apply your human knowledge and to understand what is there. And also, here, a good one. I look at the nature of social work, of social casework. And an issue comes here, and this question sometimes comes. This question comes sometimes, very interesting. In social work, it's science. Or in social work and art. Or is it a social science? Anybody?
Please.
Read.
Creative.
Dina.
Social is that because it requires usual
Speaking very, very fast. Yes.
Social casework is an art because it requires usual, whereas social casework is science because it requires much.
Okay, anybody? That is what she has told us. Social casework is both an art and it's also a science. Depending on what you want to achieve with your service user, and also the type of approach you choose to use, right? So it is both ways. It's real estate. So one of those, it becomes an art where it uses various ways to effect change, not to affect, to effect change. To effect change, any human behavior, right? We're able to manipulate the situation of an individual to bring about change, something like that. So it becomes an act. Right? Woman be observed. Is it a science or an art? Okay. So when you are trying to change an individual's behavior, where the woman behavior, you see your text. That's why I call that as an art. And then it becomes a science. When you start using what we talked about earlier, right? The knowledge of human behavior and social situations. Now you are digesting or you are dissecting the situation of an individual, right? From a scientific viewpoint to understand the behavior of that individual. His cognition, the psychomotor, all sorts of things, right? It becomes a science. And second issue, it is a science because what you need and what you get from there is informed by evidence, right? There's always very strong evidence to inform you about that human behavior. So it becomes a science. We say anything that gives you a fact as evidence, right? It means that fact is true. And naturally, all facts are true. That's what you understand, right? All facts are naturally true. So that is why we look at it as science. So, in other words, you can talk about social casework as being a scientific art, right? Both science and art that helps an individual to live a socially productive and individually satisfying life, right? And for you to enjoy a satisfying life, it will depend on several issues, right? You have the capacity to live a satisfying life. What are the social realities on the ground? And what is a satisfying life, for example? What is happiness? Is satisfying life about happiness?
Yeah.
And bliss. What is happiness?
Happiness.
Yes.
It's bliss.
Really? Are you serious? Who told you that?
I know.
Okay.
I know. Everybody knows. You don't know that.
Happiness,
Yes.
it's when you have a bottle of wine and beer on the side.
But
Yes.
but where do you feel that happiness? Where is that happiness?
Pardon?
How do you feel that? Where is it in yourself, that happiness?
In the heart.
Is it the heart?
Yes.
No. How do you know that it is in the heart?
You feel it.
When you have peace of
The
mind.
moment you start feeling anything that you feel is not in your heart. It is in your mind. Right? So it's only in your mind. Madam, when you say you are happy, can you see where your happiness is? But did you ever feel happy? Where is it? Where can you show that? Where is your happy? Where is that happy?
Oh, where can you show?
That's my head.
Yes, better expression.
Was the best for sure.
Action.
But can you see people smiling but they're dying inside?
Action.
Yeah?
Action.
Okay. So these are the issues that as a social worker you'll be looking at. We're talking about how an individual can live a satisfying life, but how does that? How do you measure it? Because you're going to be measured in terms of your competence to help an individual. Don't you think so? You measure against how you're going to help an individual. And how do you measure that? So these are some of the issues that you probably will be looking at. Okay, let's move on. Finish this one as this time. Let's look at the nature and the trends, right? That's just it. What's this? The trend is how social work evolves, right? So you can look at that. The trend in social work. One, that there has been greater intervention, the use of intervention approaches, right? This has also led to how we can measure our evidence of the results, right? When we deal with such a situation. We mentioned about competence yesterday. It's yesterday or the other day, right? So competence is how you initiate, how you manage it, how you get your results, and how you sustain those results, right? That would be the competence. So the trend in social work is actually promoting that. You need to get your results, the evidence, and this will be able to measure the standards for the results. There are also use of concepts, right? And if you know so well, 3/4 of the concepts that we use in social work are borrowed from other disciplines, right? And the social work is a multidisciplinary type of studies where you borrow so much from psychology, from sociology, from economics, from everything, including mathematics, right? Yeah, so we borrow so much from other disciplines, and this is what informs us. And also, this is what also gives us a lot of evidence. Right. And in social work, the trend is that we build coping skills for individuals. Right? That's what we always do. But I can mention to you that is not the issue. Because in social work, what we need to do is to get straight into the inner problems of the individual by understanding that individual's mind and thought processes. We need to do that. That's what we're talking about social work as a science, right? Of human behavior and how the human reacts to situations. This is how we really should look at social work. So here we also try as much as possible to blend the models of practice so that you can get a better result. So sometimes we use very, very clinical approaches to an individual's problem, right? Because we want to get a result. So here we tend to blend different models of social work, case work, so that we are able to get that. More or less. Move on. Let's look at the models, social work models. There are so many. There are so many social work models. I'll just mention a few. I've talked of these models. But what we call the psychosocial model. Right? The psychosocial model uses the psychoanalytic let me just clean that a little bit for you. Psychoanalytic approaches. Understand the human condition. Yeah. So we use this type of approaches to understand the human condition. So this is how it is. So when we talk about psychoanalytic, we are going to get those things when we deal with the theories and techniques in the second semester, right? We shall look at the psychoanalytic approach, we shall look at the psychodynamic approach, we shall look at several other approaches that we have that you can use to understand the individual problem and also that which can help you to actually try to help that individual. And when we look at the psychoanalytic approach, we use more of what we understand about the individual. You know the ego, right? What is it? Somebody said yes. Yes. No, you have done your psychology. Yes. What is it?
Something natural. So one is just going.
Okay, so it's just going to take. That's the definition to that. Anyway, we shall look at this when we come to second semester. When we look at the psychodynamic, psychoanalytic approach by Sigmund Freud, and we shall look at what the ego is, the superego, and what else? Okay, and the id. Out of these three, they make you who you are as a human being. The ego is you, how you look at yourself and your self-worth, right? It gives you your identity as a person. It protects yourself, the self, right? Then you have the superego and the id. The id is a bad boy, always tells you to do wrong things. But so the superego tries to, the id or superego tries to mediate in between. So we shall look at those when we look at the psychodynamic theories. Makes sense. So here, this is basically what we do. So we tend to utilize when we talk about the ego, the real human being, right? In his right frame as an individual. And also try to understand the behavior of that individual from the cause and effect perspective. Why should somebody behave the way he does, for example, right? Why would he do that? Okay? And from there, then we tend to understand why certain things happen the way they do. And also that helps us why certain people would be able to solve their problems, but then they solve their problem rather without bothering anybody. Right? Or others not. For example, what makes you fear about something? Let's assume you are walking at night, right? At night, and in front of you, and around 2 a.m., in front of you, you see 6 strong men just standing across the road. What do you do? Run away. But who tells you to run away?
I don't know if it's them or something.
No, but who tells you to run away? You start yourself. Something somewhere comes to your mind. Your mind will tell you. Those people, they always think that is danger. And the other mind can tell you that they are sick. You can take on them. Right? So, listen, somebody will take on them, somebody will run, and something like that. You know, just, yeah. How many people run away? The snake is passing, you don't wait does that person stop? What makes you do that? Yeah, so, that personality, the ego, the id, and the super ego, these are 3 things that you work on. One which tells you, this is danger. And the way I look at you, as it is in you, seriously, the way you are, you can't fight those people, just run, you start running. Yeah. Oh no, those are 6 people, but I think you are strong enough to take with them, just go there. Seriously. The first thing you do, don't even ask them questions, say, well, who made the most? So you see, that's what happens. So sometimes it's just, this is how the human brain works, right? So, issue of fear is real, but how it is generated and managed also depends on that personality of the individual. Right. So we have some of these books that we can look at later. Let's just proceed to finish this one here. Alright. There's the second one before the functional model. The functional model focuses on the concept of relationship and the dynamic use of time and agency. The functional, something which makes an individual functional. And really looks at what is the relationship between your agency, yourself, and your problem. How does it? Right? How do you get the sense of agency, your time, and everything? Does that thing actually help you to sort or address the issue that you are dealing with? Right? That's the functional one. I said there are quite a number of models, but just mentioning a few. The others I think get them as we move on to look at them. Okay. The third one is what we call the problem solving model. This one we shall also look at it in detail, I think, next semester. It was part of the theory that we will deal with in the session. So, here, just involves one, how you identify the problem based on the individual person, how you look at the problem through assessment, and also how you try to look at that problem. And especially, we say that the problem is known by the individual. So in your assessment, you really will be focusing down on that individual. Because for you to understand the problem, you must understand that individual down there. So that whatever happens, you will be able to help that particular individual. Right? And also, the issues of solution. How do you identify the solution? Right? For that particular problem. And I mentioned the other day, it will be similar problem, but with different solutions, right? If you have a similar problem, and you want that problem to be addressed by all of you here, I will get quite different responses from you. That's true. Yeah. This will depend on how you as an individual are able to understand the problem and also are able to analyze that type of problem. And that will be actually try to make you understand what that problem is and also how we are going to actually address that. So in the end, you have the issue of decision making, right? So decision making processes can also differ. How you decide to do what will depend on how you have understood the situation. See what I'm saying? Yes. And that's why all of us here actually have different approaches to how we understand the problem and also how we get the solution to those problems. Right. And the action is where we are trying to mobilize individual efforts, which is very, very important. I think I've mentioned that the whole thing that we do in social work is to build coping skills for the individual to be able to understand his own problem and also manage his own problem. That's what we do, right? And when we're going to look at the techniques next semester, we have to be looking at those things. How do you build the capacity of an individual to understand and also manage his own problems? So we look at it, for example, problem solving model, the skills that you require, right? You have got those. The psychoanalytic, psychodynamic, existential, whatever it is, human conditioning, and the bliss, and the bliss. Not the bliss, but the gender. Gina can also do that. All right. Yes. We have this one here. We have the other one we call the behavioral model. But behavior modification, but basically we are not modifying the behavior. But for purposes of our work here, we just call it behavioral model. It's a behavior modification because we are going to look at some of these individuals here, right? And you know that the individuals you have here, yes, they look at the individual behavior. Is it possible to learn behavior?
Yeah.
How do we develop our behavior? That's a good question.
Learning from people around us, you meet other people.
You learn from people around you. So in other words, you are born without behavior.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, as a child, you learn from people around you, like your parents, you start meeting them, yeah.
Then after that?
After that, you start now growing with you.
So is it possible for a family with 5 children, right? And one of those, a boy, becomes a thief? Is it possible? Yes. Why? What would be the situation? If you say behavior is learned in the home, right? And your father and mother have never been a thief, you become a thief. What would be the...
You can read that you are born, on let's say you are born to a GB, or you have seen somebody without it. For example, first thing you can watch on TV or photos. The other thing is, maybe my friend has a laptop, and I don't have a laptop.
So,
And then I'll be yeah, that's the only way.
No,
that's
sir.
the only way.
No, but according to how that child is thinking. So like if the child goes to her parents, if the parents be like, no, I can't afford that one, whatever. So she saw and the laptop somewhere, so she's like, let me just take this one. That's my opinion.
Really?
The behavior of a person brought up by two things, nature and nurture. So you find that there are some behaviors, like the scenario whereby you are saying this day, this other family whereby there are 5 kids, one is a pig. That might have happened just because of scenario whereby the environment or the people which that particular kid is associating with the same community of thieves. So that person might have been affected by the nature. So it's very, very possible to have a thief in a family.
Alright. So these things you'll do them when you do a story. Have you done many theories? No. So when you do those things, you don't do complete them all. Behaviors are learned, right? The first line of learning is in the home, right? What you call primary socialization. That's why I learn everything from the parents, siblings, and something like that. Right? And after that, the other part of your learning is outside your home, in the environment. Whether in the school, whatever, something like that. And I can assure you that even the students, right? Some of us may be coming from very holy families. But when we are now here, you are alone, you are free, right? You follow what others are doing. And you can be anywhere and also try to do that. So there are so many ways in which you can actually learn. One of those is by modeling, right?
Yeah.
You see somebody impresses you, you take that as a model and start to be like that individual, right? Or stimulation. You are stimulated by certain types of things happening around you in your environment. You follow that. Stimulation to imitate and follow. Things like those. So many ways in which you can get our behaviors. Right. Observation is another one. By observing, you can learn and you see. If your boys are in the hostel, right? You are sleeping, your friends come back at 1 a.m., they're making noise, and you see. When you're sleeping, you think they are enjoying it, right? You follow them, you follow them just to see what is going on. In the end, you become like them. Okay, so number. The task-centered model is a model which looks at the treatment, the short-term type of treatment. How do you do? It is usually there to help individuals and families who have psychosocial problems, right? So at the task, because your treatment revolves around the tasks that you are given to do, right? But in the end, we assume that then you can become complete. So it works around tasks which are assigned, and that the service user must accomplish those and account for those. And usually it uses a collaborative approach where both the service user and yourself must be able to work together. And therefore, you may need to have different types of interventions that are put together for you to be able to achieve that. Right. Okay. Let's move on. So, you are trying to still have 18 minutes.
You minutes.
No, quarter to quarter. Who told you that? Quarter 10, quarter 12. No, this is not an issue. Then it is an issue. What is it?
We are rushing.
Did you have a class at 8 o'clock?
Yes.
No.
Yes, foundation.
Foundation.
Okay, 8 o'clock. And you missed that one.
No, it didn't. No, it's just us. But the second. Me, I'm the second person.
Oh.
Next time we can be in the
Good.
Even though we were doing
So, we move on, eh? Tina, we move on.
Wait, Tina is still ready.
You can try to. So talk about the combination of interventions. There are several interventions that come in. What? Remember talk about a single problem can degenerate so many problems, right? Which means that even the intervention also has to look at those things. If it was about an individual and it involves the whole family, it means the intervention will start with the individual and also intervention from the family. So in a family approach, you find that the type of model we are using is also different from the original. Now we are moving, right? Then you have the task status, which is usually looks at those things. Environment, interpersonal and familial issues, personal, psychiatric, what else? Personal, psychiatric, and also the lecture. Good. Let's go today.